Hi guys, Max from Glamble & Co here. Now I'm going to go through some different peg options for you. Now a lot of people don't know these exist. Most people think there's just the standard pegs that you can use. And to be honest, they can drive some people quite crazy, especially in the climate we have in Australia where it's hot, cold, dry, then humid, and sometimes that's all in a week. So often your pegs are slipping. Now you could have some other problems where your pegs aren't fitted properly. But there are some quite modern alternatives, which I'm going to go through, which can really help you keep your instrument in tune, stop wasting valuable lesson time tuning, especially over Zoom at the moment, as everyone's might be in lockdown, or you might live in a more remote community where you don't have access to a local teacher and you have to always learn over distance. So these options are going to give you, yes, that ability to keep your instrument in tune much better. You're not going to have any pegs slipping. I know often when we're in the showroom here, we can come in one day and all the pegs have loosened off and we take hours tuning everything. So what we're going to do is go through these alternatives, and yes, one of the other big benefits is it's very easy on your fingers. And we can install this on almost any violin. So we have that option. So let's go through the two options we have, and we'll go from there. So the first one is the Planetary Perfection Peg. So here we actually have a threaded insert here, so that's how we fit them. And then you can actually fine tune, or you can pull out this tab and you can tune like this. Or alternatively, you can much more easily than the Wittner pegs, change your strings, which is an alternative. So what we have here is the ABS model, which looks a lot like ebony. This also comes in an ebony, and it also comes in a rosewood, which you can see here, which is quite nice. So it means you can keep your rosewood tailpiece or chin rest if you have those fittings. So there is that option. Now the only thing with this one is it doesn't come with the rosewood here, so it can look funny in little areas, but if you're not too worried about that, you wouldn't really notice from a distance, to be honest. Now if we move on to the pegs here, the Wittner pegs, they actually have a gear system inside the peg head. So some people often ask, how do both these pegs work? Basically, the Perfection pegs, they have the gear system in the shaft here, and the Wittner pegs have the gear system in the peg head here. So these you can see actually in here, how they work. So it's pretty amazing engineering going into here, and it's pretty amazing to think that that could all fit in the peg head. Now with the Wittner pegs, they are fitted slightly differently. They have some little grooves here, which get fitted right into the pegs. Both of these you can apply some glue to the peg box to make sure that they definitely don't slip. But if they're fitted correctly, you shouldn't really need the glue. But, it's always the option. Now with these, essentially, they are just a little bit heavier than the Perfection pegs. So I've got the scales here, so we're going to weigh them. First, we're going to start with a standard ebony peg. It hasn't been fitted yet, so it's still got all the bulk on there. Now we put this on the weights. We're sitting at about 5 grams. If we then go up to the Perfection ABS, we're going up to about 8, between 7.5 to 8 grams. If we go for the rosewood, we're going to definitely the 7 grams. And if we go up to the Wittner pegs, we're going up to about 10 grams. So they are a bit heavier, but both have good options. We fit the Wittner ones a lot on our Barossa range here, but we can also fit these on that range as well. They're just two different systems, and it really depends on personal preference, I think, in the end. Now these are all also available for viola and cello. Now for me, it makes sense to fit these on a cello because tuning cello pegs is really hard work on your hands, especially if you've been playing for hours. So it is beneficial to really get these on a cello as well. Obviously the cost will go up as you do this, but that's just the what comes with the cello, unfortunately. Now, if you wanted to get these fitted on an existing violin, the positive is you can. Now, the shafts here for both ranges come in multiple different sizes. So if it's more of a modern violin, likelihood is we can probably get one of the smaller shafts on there, which means it's going to be lighter overall. If you've got an older instrument and the pegs are already quite wide, then we'll have to go for a wider option. But it will add a little bit of weight. But for me, the benefits of the fine tuning, your pegs not slipping, it really just outweighs the weight problem for me personally. Now, when we're fitting these, we also like to fit a wooden tailpiece on, which can add a bit of class to the instrument, can also change the sound a little bit. Now, this one here is fitted with both options available, but normally I would suggest a wooden tailpiece just with the one fine tuner, if you have these on the E string, because the E string needs just a bit of extra fine tuning. So if you have the fine tuner on the E, then you have the best of both worlds. Now with these, how they work, if I'm just tuning up the G or D or A string here, you can see I'm just slowly moving this and you can hear the tunings going up or down. Now with the Wittner pegs here, it's only this section that's moving, not here. And that's how the perfection will work as well. So, it's fantastic. And we can come in day and night here, and you can almost guarantee that any of the violins where these are fitted on, the pegs have not slipped at all. So you have that kind of peace of mind that you're going to open your case and the pegs aren't going to be really, really out of tune, and you can just fine tune these. And also benefit over the fine tuners down the tailpiece is, and I think we've all been in this case where we get right to the bottom of the tail, fine tuners on the tailpiece, we can't screw anymore. Then we have to screw off all the fine tuner, tune up with the pegs, which can be quite dangerous if you haven't done it before. And also, it's another risk for breaking strings. Now with this, there's no end. You can just keep going 360 turns for as long as you want. So there's kind of no reset button. Which I think is fantastic. So if you are interested in these, please get in touch. We can get any of our workshop staff to have these fitted on a existing instrument. And also if you're interested in one of our Glanville & Co violins, then these come standard on our Barossa range, but just for a small extra cost, we can get these fitted on any of our other range. So, yep, happy playing and enjoy.